get this done attitude that up until recently had not been demonstrated. This single-handedly is the greatest strength the city can offer the Chamber's membership and our community as a whole, strengthening the bond between private and investment and city governance. With yes well underway as the first word being used at the city, inroads are being made in dividends between our respective organizations, and I am overwhelmed with enthusiasm to see all the progress that we're going to make in this dynamic year ahead. Thank you, and will you all please welcome our fine mayor as he shares with us more about what's happening in our city for the future.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you, Erica, for agreeing to come and partner with me this evening and host the State of the City address. Before I dive in tonight, I just want to take a moment and recognize some that are in the room who consistently support our great community. The elected members of our city council, there's a few that are here this evening. In the second row, I won't make you stand up, but we have a handful of them here this evening. And I also want to recognize those members of the Port of Woodland that are here, Woodland School District employees and board members, and members of the Woodland Business Chamber as well. I also want to send a special thank you to those who serve our city spiritually. No matter if your congregation is within the city limits or your congregation is one that serves those outside our community, we need you and we appreciate you. And most importantly, I want to thank the residents of our great city. I'm privileged to be here this evening and to be your mayor. I want to take a few moments also and introduce the team that runs the city every single day. As we look around the room, we have our city administrator, Mr. Pete Boyce, in the back there. And we also have Mrs. Mary Ripp, our clerk treasurer. Where'd she go? Well, she's right up front here. There she is. And our deputy clerk treasurer, Mrs. Gina Anderson, in the back. And our chief of the Woodland Police Department, Jim Kelly, also in the back of the room. And Chief Mike Jackson with Clark County Fire and Rescue. Where's he? I saw him. There he is over at the table. And Ms. Tracy Coleman, our Public Works Director, who has outdone herself this evening with her table display. She's very competitive. And Mr. Travis Goddard, our newest member to the team, with our Community Development Director there. That's our team. That's the people that run the city every single day and make it possible for all of us to be successful here in Woodland. So thank you for being here. I appreciate everything that you do every single day. Let's give them a round of applause. I also want to extend a special thank you to Miss Erica Rodman. I know she sat down in the back there. Current president of the Woodland Business Chamber. I've gotten to know Miss Rodman over the past few years, and we share a love of our community, as she said, and we both want to get in and get things done that are going to benefit the community as a whole. I appreciate the support that she has given me, and also the support and the wonderful things that the Business Chamber does on a daily basis. Thank you. And one last thank you before we start here. I want to say thank you to the Woodland Public Schools, specifically the Woodland High School, for hosting us this evening and allowing us to share in this amazing space. It's a beautiful space, and it's a nice area to come together as a community to meet, so thank you to them. This is my first official State of the City address. I have given many updates since 2016, but tonight I'm officially ready to let everyone know where we are as a city. Typically, a State of the City address is an opportunity to celebrate the wonderful things that have been going on and the growth a city has been experiencing. We will touch on those items tonight, but tonight is about letting you know where we are and that we're getting back to work. We have made tremendous moves towards our city's future over the past 2 years. Tonight is about coming together and working together as a community of leaders and citizens to create Woodland's future and to shut down those that seek to destroy it. When I took office in 2016, it was a very troubling time in the city of Woodland. There were many pending lawsuits, employee grievances, distrust from city council members. Labor contracts were unsigned, broken relationships, and perceptions of the city with our business leaders was extremely negative. I am happy to finally report to you tonight that after 2 years, we're moving on and making outstanding strides in a positive direction. Almost all the lawsuits have now been finalized, along with many of the grievances. A positive working relationship has been repaired between City Hall and City Council. Along with broken relationships between community groups has also been restored, and city employees are happy to come to work and our business community is back at the table and working with executive staff to create a comprehensive plan to move Woodland forward. And I'm very excited about that. Most important, above all of these items, we are continually reaching out and communicating with citizens on how to make our city's quality of life better. This is an ongoing challenge, but a challenge we consistently seek to improve. Although 2016 was difficult, it was a year of great progress for our city. I am the first mayor of the city of Woodland to bring a city administrator on board, raising our level of professionalism. I restructured the Public Works Department to better serve our citizens, created a community development department to better serve those wanting to develop within the city limits of Woodland, supported employees in creating a more structured, robust safety program that we can all be proud of every single day, delivered a balanced operating budget never seen before by many long-standing council members, and signed multiple outstanding labor contracts. We have also made many more improvements throughout our city in 2017. Upgraded many parks in the city of Woodland, including a new play equipment at Horseshoe Lake Park, which was helped out by a generous donation by an anonymous source. Repaved Old Pacific Highway between East Scott Avenue and Exit 22. Completed a much-needed sidewalk project on Beechwood Street, creating a safe and pedestrian-friendly roadway, which, by the way, was done through the majority of grant dollars. We obtained a $600,000 grant to address the issues over at Exit 21 and the transportation that follows that. We've worked with businesses and property owners and community members to complete a plan to revitalize our historic downtown. We began construction on a brand new fire station. We've purchased much-needed equipment for our police officers. We created a plan with the Washington State Department of Transportation to eliminate traffic issues within the city limits of Woodland, and delivered a balanced operating budget yet again for the second time in 2017. Our clerk treasurer's office received a clean report from our state auditor's office, which is something we should all be proud of. And we've made budget cuts to each and every single department without compromising any service to the citizens of Woodland. It's not a comprehensive list, but it's a long list, and a list that I'm very proud of. But a great start to where we have come over the past few years, and a lot of great work and foundations have also been laid going into 2018. All those wonderful things are great, but we're still facing many challenges within our city. First and foremost, we're not out of the woods financially yet. Operating costs continue to rise, and our revenues are not keeping up with that. As many of you were made aware during the 2017 budget process, many of the revenue generated by the city is dedicated funding, such as water treatment and transportation infrastructure, leaving only a small percentage that can be rerouted to general fund services. But we must also remember that any time funds are moved from one department to another in a city our size, there will be a positive and negative impact to service. We must be mindful when these financial decisions are made. If we take from one to give to another, who will benefit and who will suffer is always the question that has to be answered before that decision can be made. Another issue facing our city is the need to create a more robust public safety program, which includes our police department. We have tried unsuccessfully asking our citizens for needed funds to support our police department over the past few years. City Council has made this a top priority for 2018, and I fully support their efforts to find solutions for our police. One way I plan on addressing this top priority of City Council is to bring in an outside source to provide an organizational assessment for the department. Questions that need to be addressed are pay, working conditions, technology, and level of service being provided. Projections must be made to address the ongoing safety needs of our community, and when to hire additional officers has to be planned out. Without a plan, we will not be successful in providing this much-needed resource to our citizens. Like public safety, we have asked voters to approve a retail sales tax that has also failed. This sales tax would have been dedicated funding to help with the maintenance of our transportation system. Although this is an ongoing battle plaguing many cities, not only the city of Woodland, we are getting creative and seeking out funding outside of normal channels. City Council has identified this issue as another top priority for 2018. We will be seeking additional funding from outside sources to assist in creating effective solutions that can be beneficial to our transportation needs. We will also be developing a strategy with citizens to address this issue. We must collaborate with each other to identify specific projects our community wants completed, so a financial plan can be created to address their needs and wants, and for it to be successful. As we move through 2018, all departments within the city will be tasked with completing additional foundational work to ensure we are meeting the needs of our community. While completing daily operations, they will be tasked with some of the following items. In our Community Development Department, Mr. Goddard will be working with the Planning Commission to update codes and ensure that they're meeting our comprehensive plan, making development easier within the city limits of Woodland. He will also be given the task of an organizational assessment to detail projected growth of the city and departmental needs to include staffing levels and service levels that will be needed in the future. And also creating detailed plans on what customers can expect, which includes timelines and checklists. Over in our Clerk Treasurer's office, an organizational assessment from external source will be conducted, or assessment will be conducted to ensure state, staff, city council, and community needs are being met. They will also be working on a city fee schedule, ensuring our city is within range with the end user in mind. Over at Public Works, a major water treatment facility upgrade is planned for 2018, and that will ensure that every time you turn on your faucet or flush your toilet, you will have clean water, and it's very important that this project be completed. Sewer rate assessment will also be performed to provide sustainable, reasonable costs to our customers and to ensure that we're not overcharging and that we're within the median range of fees. And also, a 426-acre on the west side of town property that has been set aside for light industrial land will also be conducted a feasibility study, which will be a roadmap to our development of the Lewis River Valley Industrial Park, which is a partnership between the City of Woodland and the Port of Woodland. The City Administrator will also be tasked with an improved budget process, making it easier for our community members to read and a streamlined process for City Council. He will also be tasked with a 5-year financial projection for city sustainability and levels of service. Also, if that's not enough, he's also tasked with a housing development strategy. Not just a couple of little items there for Mr. Boyce to complete as well. These, of course, are highlights and a snapshot of what big pieces are being worked on behind the scenes at City Hall. And on my desk is an entire another list of items that I am working on. I'm working on a new City Hall, a strategy for a new City Hall that has potential for a public and private partnership, putting all departments within the City of Woodland under one roof. Currently, we are spread throughout the city. Communication strategy to include town hall style meetings with certain council members that sit on the boards of the Finance Committee, Public Works Committee, Public Safety Committee, just to name a few. Getting the word out that Woodland is open for business, as Ms. Rodman indicated, and continue building relationships with our county and state officials. All this work that needs to be completed will not happen overnight, but it certainly cannot be completed without you. The City of Woodland has one major challenge to overcome, and that is mindset at this point. At times, because of our rich history and attachment to our roots, we put up roadblocks which have a negative impact to growth. We must change our mindset if we want to be successful in the future. Our city is on the verge of a growth explosion, for those of you that don't know, and we must get prepared. We must be prepared physically, and we must be prepared mentally. We must change our mindset to accept the changes that are ahead of us. The mind is an extremely powerful tool, and when it comes to success, it has a major role to play. So many times I've heard, in my short 2 years that I've been here, that's not the way that we do things around here. Well, if our way of doing business is not changed, we will continue to have the same experiences, never growing, over and over and over again. We must change our mindset. As we move through the next few years, you may not see the physical changes right away, but for some, this will be hard. There is an expectation that those changes will come and that something will be tangible, but understand that we are working behind the scenes, trying to lay that foundation for our future. If we want to be successful, we must have vision, because vision is for our future, and seeing things in front of you right now is called sight. Vision, however, vision is our future. If we want to be successful, really successful, we must push past our fears for the change. Once we move past those fears, on the other side of that will be greatness. Will be a beautiful city that has a beautiful future ahead of it. When we look around and see the successful cities around us, we like to say, look what they have done. Look at what they have. Why don't we have that? When are we going to get that? This was not an easy task for those cities to do, and we need to remember that. The reason that they're being successful today is because of all the hard work that they did behind the scenes leading up to what we are seeing now. They had a vision, they had a plan, and they put the hard work into it, and they made it happen. And today we're seeing the fruits of their labor. We must change our mindset and stop worrying about those that are outside criticizing us. Stop listening to those who say it will never work, that you will never be successful as a city. When you listen to negativity, you will start to believe it, and you will lose your nerve. And when you stop listening, you will begin to get your nerve back and begin being successful. You will begin to stop the negative energy and stop worrying about what everyone else has and start working towards our own futures and our own vision. It is fear at this point that I believe is holding us back. As I stand before you tonight, I truly believe Woodland has a future that has yet to be written, because her authors have not come forward to write her chapters. I am standing before you tonight asking you to step forward and write the future. I can see it, and I am only one small portion of it. It takes you to join us to make it happen. I'm asking you tonight to step forward and get involved. If you want Scott Hill Park, if you want a new library, if you want that pool to be built, then give money. If you cannot give money, then give your time. If you cannot give your time, then give your talent or your gift that you have to offer to make it happen. Get behind a project here in Woodland. If you love Horseshoe Lake, then attend a meeting. If you adore Community Outlook, attend a planning commission meeting, or better yet, apply to be on the planning commission and help us out. Volunteer one day a month at the Woodland Action Center, because that's what you can do. I'm asking you to look within yourselves as a community and give something back, whether it be monetarily, time, or your talent. What I'm asking you to do is to step up, and don't sit idle and be a volunteer victim to our future. Do not sit on the sidelines, armchair quarterbacking. Dive in and get in the trenches and get some skin in the game, is what I'm asking you to do. Be part of the solution, be part of the writing of our next chapter. And now I'm going to tell the story, if I haven't already, because I believe that it puts it into perspective. And some of those of you that were at Business Chamber a few weeks ago heard me tell this story. There's a little young man who lives in my home, and his name is Liam. And every day, Liam gets up and goes down to the breakfast bar to eat his breakfast. And his mother stands on the other side, and she makes his lunch. A few weeks ago, Liam was sitting there having his breakfast. And his mother was making lunches, as she always does, and she's making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They had their dialogue back and forth, as they do every single morning. Liam went upstairs. He got dressed, he did his hair, he brushed his teeth, he came downstairs and put his shoes on. All the while, lunches have been made, they've been packed up in the lunch boxes and put into the book bags to go to school. Liam grabbed his coat, grabbed his book bag, and the minute he got to the door, all of a sudden, we didn't want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It may sound trivial, but Liam had an opportunity to be successful at the lunchroom table by telling his mother that he did not want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Perhaps he wanted a turkey sandwich. So that's what I'm asking you to do tonight. I'm asking you, if you want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, great, because that's what we're making right now. If you don't, and you want a turkey sandwich, now's your opportunity to step forward and let us know before it's too late when we're walking out the door and going to school. Because at that point, the job's been done, the bag's been packed, and we're moving forward. Don't wait. We're listening. We're here. Please speak up and let us know what you want. What is being done today isn't easy, but I'm confident. In fact, I'm certain what we are doing today will benefit all of us who live, work, and play within the city of Woodland. When it is time, when all the hard work and foundation has been laid behind us, the entire region will completely be sideswiped by the city of Woodland, and they will be asking themselves, where'd they come from? How did this happen? We didn't know that they even existed. The city of Woodland will be a major player within the region, and I keep touting this for the last few weeks, and some of you in this room can attest to that. We are going to be bringing family wage jobs into our community. We are going to be bringing homes that are attainable and priced reasonably into our community, and a quality of life unsurpassed by our neighbors, and it will make them jealous. Yes, it will be hard to achieve it, but in the end, it will be worth it. Now is Woodland's time. Now is the time for you to step up and play a part in our role, in playing a role into our future and helping us write that next chapter. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. God bless you and God bless Woodland. Thank you.